Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today I'm going to be showing you exactly how to measure your giant pumpkin to estimate how much it weighs. We had a gorgeous day here today, and yesterday we got a lot of rain, so I'm expecting a good bit of growth on the pumpkin. And I didn't get to measure it yesterday, so I'm not sure where it's sitting yet. So this isn't going to be a long video, but I'm going to give you an update on my giant pumpkin, and you might learn something. Huh, ducks? Yeah, it's getting close to you guys moving out. Huh, pup? We got the birds out at the pond, and things are looking a lot better now that we have it mowed. Huh, mom balls? We also have the turkey out on pasture. We don't have them out yet though in the fenced in area because they're still perfect size for hawk bait, and we definitely have them flying through. But if you can see the longer grass there, that's about where I want to expand the duck pond to. Eventually. It's a process. Huh, pup, and we're gonna have to rent some bigger machinery for that move. But inside the vegetable garden here, we still have some beautiful blooms from the hostas and the gladiolas. We have a bunch of weeds coming up in my greens bed. I already got the onions out of here. We already got the cabbage harvested and the potatoes as well. But over here, if you can read, this is where we're growing the giant pumpkin. And I did call some pumpkins earlier. We don't want these growing because they're just sucking some growth out of my big ones. Looks like we might have taken some wind damage from the storms yesterday. Overall, she's looking pretty healthy though. We got the stump on this side. She's looking pretty thick, kind of like a baseball bat. Looking solid and dry though. I'm like, well, might have some, yeah, she's got some softness on this side. Mostly dry though. I'm gonna have to get some sulfur on that. We don't want her getting all moist. You want to keep the stump dry so nothing starts to rot. And I don't have electric down here in the vegetable garden yet, so I can't really run fans. And I didn't end up watering today. We got just under 2 inches of water yesterday, so I was thinking we probably had enough. I might give her a drink though. But as we come around to the front here, you can kind of see more of the size. She is actually growing up the fence there, so she's going out of the patch. Otherwise, she's reaching all the way to the end of the fence here where I have it for the rabbit fencing. We have a little bit of a gap here where I'm going in where we have the pumpkin setting. But that's actually because I had to cut some off of the fence because it grew through the fence before I was able to get it out this far. But I am growing 3 pumpkins right now on this one plant. And we'll start small to large. This one is the smallest, and this is because I'm growing this one as a Cinderella pumpkin. I might have to get this one on the ground. She's starting to put some stress up here on the vine. Might have to figure out how to position that one. I want the stem right on top, but I think I want the bottom flat. So I'm gonna have to try and get that setting on the ground, but keep it supported so the stem stays on top and then let it grow from there. But this is gonna be the Cinderella pumpkin, and right now it's about volleyball size. I have the t-shirt on here to keep the skin from getting all burnt from the sun. We wanna keep that supple skin nice and soft so it can stretch as it grows. So we're gonna see how that one does, but you can see this one poking out of the towel. I'm gonna have to get a bed sheet on this. She has been growing. Let me take a look at her. I have not measured this one yet for size. Oh, she's still looking good. I don't want that leaf hitting her. Hold on, I'm gonna have to leave the towel on a little bit. Leaves are kind of prickly, so I don't want them scratching the skin. Hold on. How you doing? Still getting big? It's looking okay. There's some dimpling here I don't like. That might just be the leaf. That could be from the leaf rubbing it. Yeah, that's probably the leaf. I'm gonna leave her covered until I can get these leaves back. This one is getting close to, or already is, beach ball size. So I'm gonna have to get a bigger bed sheet on there so the skin is completely covered. And we're not only protecting it to hide it from the sun, we also want to hide it from the rabbits. Hump pop. So I'm gonna have to get a bed sheet for that after we measure it, and then I'm probably gonna have to cut some of these leaves back so it's not scratching the pumpkin as she's growing out. And I definitely need to get some fertilizer on her tonight. Out. You don't need to come in here. All right, let's take a look at this last one, see if she split from that rain we had last night. It kept raining after dark, so I don't know how much she actually took on here. All right, she is exposed, and that wasn't good. She was exposed from part of the day. She is yellowing up here. We're definitely gonna have to get a bigger bed sheet on this one. Oh, you can see the sun line. Look at that tan line. That is a good example right there why you want to have it covered. That is not good. That's gonna make the skin a little bit tighter and not gonna want to stretch as it's growing. That could have probably just sealed the deal for this pumpkin getting orange like this. Hold on. Nope, no splits. I don't see any cracks down there. We have this one. That one was from early on, but it's definitely healed over. But all right, she definitely got a tan line today. That I've never had on a pumpkin before. So we got to get a bigger sheet on this one and probably have to pull some of these leaves back. But so far, she is still growing here. Now, it is necessary to say if you're trying to grow a giant pumpkin, there's only one variety of pumpkin you're going to grow, and that would be the Dill's Atlantic Giant. And Howard Dill is actually one of the pioneers of growing giant pumpkins. He started growing giant pumpkins a long time ago, and his big pumpkin was about 80 pounds. And they started growing pumpkins from the giant pumpkin seeds every year and getting bigger and bigger each time. He got a lot of other people excited to grow giant pumpkins, and now everybody's growing his Dill's Atlantic Giant. So with a lot of people growing the same pumpkin, there's been a lot of research on it, and they have a method where you can take 3 measurements on the pumpkin and get the estimated weight as it's growing. Which is really helpful, because sometimes it's hard to pick these up once they're done. What the? Out! Now the first measurement is going to be stem to blossom tip, and you're going to be going from the ground up the pumpkin, down the pumpkin to the ground, and you're not going to be wrapping around the pumpkin on either side. You're going to be going straight down. The second measurement is going to be taken the same way, but you're going to go perpendicular to that, and it doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle. You're going to want to go to the widest point of the pumpkin. So you're going to pick your widest point, and you're going to go from the ground straight up the side of the pumpkin. You're not going to be wrapping around the curve of the pumpkin. No hugging your pumpkin. That's going to skew the results and make you think you got a bigger pumpkin than you do. So straight down on the ground from the side, all the way up the pumpkin, perpendicular around the larger side, down to the ground on the other side, straight down. And a couple days ago, the last time I measured this one, I had 57 inches coming from stem to blossom end, and then on the left to right perpendicular, I had 60 inches. But then we need one more number, and that is going to be the circumference of the largest circumference of the pumpkin. So if it's an odd shape, you're going to pick the bumps, and you're going to go a nice circumference around. You're not going to wrap it up and down as you're going around, but the one largest circumference is what you want. Now, I don't know the formula they use, but you can plug those numbers into a calculator online, and it's going to spit out an estimated weight for your pumpkin. And it should be pretty close, plus or minus about 10%. But I have been waiting on taking the first measurement on my smaller second pumpkin, and that's because the chart doesn't start until I think about 50 pounds, so you can't really measure smaller pumpkins. They might have that fixed now with the calculator, but whenever I looked at the chart, it started at about 50 pounds. And a pumpkin can rot off at any time, so I was waiting until we had a nice established pumpkin before we took our first measurement. And this one was sitting at 172 pounds the last time I measured it, so let's see if it grew any. I'm going to be using a Taylor's tape measure. This one actually stretches out to 60 inches, so I can take some of the measurements here. And then I have another one. This one's a little bit bulkier, but it goes to 100 feet, so I can do the whole measurement. This one is nicer to work with, though. It came with a scale that I bought. But this pumpkin is getting too big to use it. All right, well, that's as close as I can get you. So we're gonna clear the way so we can see the ground. In my case, I have it sitting on an insulation board, so I'm going to measure to the insulation board because that's where the bottom of the pumpkin is. I'm getting 57 on this end. And I'm getting 60 on this end. That doesn't seem like she grew. I think my circumference was 80 last time. (7'2", 86. Did it only grow that? How did it only grow one direction? Huh. And plug that into the calculator. I need to get another bed sheet. Alright, now I'm a little concerned that that one stopped growing, and if it did stop growing, I need to get it cut off the vine so all the energy can start going into this one. It's not too late to do that, and that probably is the best course of action to try and get this pumpkin as big as possible this year. But I'm still a little bit nervous to do that. So let's go ahead and take the first measurement on this pumpkin. Oh, she's a beaut. Oh, she's got a great shape. Gorgeous. Got these leaves coming in scratching her though. Excuse me. All right. The skin is so soft it's almost sticky. It really grabs you. Straight down. Ow! Fly just bit me. $45. Ah, flies are getting me. What'd I say? 45. $48. I don't think I'm gonna get the circumference with this. Hey flies, give me a minute. Give me a minute. It's gonna go right above the stem all the way around. Try not to have this leaf kill it. Come on. Hey bud, I said give me a minute. Quit biting me. 5'3". So 63. Put that into the calculator. Oh, gotta keep you covered. Everything wants to eat the pumpkin. Alright, now I have the numbers. For the larger pumpkin on the vine, we are estimating 191 pounds, and I'm thinking that's not a lot of growth from where it was before, so we are going to keep an eye on that one to see how much she's still growing. We really don't want to take away from getting a big pumpkin this year, and that might have to get called off so we can put all the energy into this pumpkin. And right now, this pumpkin is sitting at an estimated 91 pounds. So I'm going to keep tracking these pumpkins each day to see how much they're growing and when it's going to be time to call that other pumpkin, or if we can get both of them to the finish line and get two really big pumpkins. And then we have this third pumpkin, which is mostly just for fun, but we're also using that as a pressure relief valve. If we ever do get too much rain like we kind of did yesterday, having it spread out across a couple pumpkins might save the big one from cracking. But this is where my patch is right now in the season. The plant is still looking pretty healthy, and we have 3 pumpkins set on the vine. Pup, but the season is far from over. But that's going to be all for this one. I hope you enjoyed the video, at the very least learned something. If you want to keep following along with the giant pumpkin grow here and everything else at Whitt Acres, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit that like button before you leave, and you can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching. Good boy.